Hi guys, we're back. And today I'm going to be talking about chainmail. Doesn't that sound exciting? Okay, here we go. Here's what we've got. So this is chainmail. So if you'll notice, they kind of link together like this. So this row always faces this way and this row always faces this way. Okay, does that make sense? So you need to know that right off the bat so that you don't drive yourself crazy, which you might anyway. So I made an earring. This is just some of the things you can do with it. And this is the chainmail on the back. I made a dice bag. What you're going to need is you are going to need rings. I buy my rings normally almost exclusively from the Ring Lord. They are incredible. The kind I use is anodized aluminum because they're a little cheaper and they're also super easy to work with. The tools you're going to need are pliers. You need 2 needle nose pliers. Super important that there's no teeth on the inside. You see that? They're smooth on the inside. So these are the pair I started with. These I got from Harbor Freight. They were, I don't know, a couple bucks a piece. So they are great. They do the job. They're wonderful. But if you do a lot, and you can imagine doing sheets and sheets and sheets of chainmail, it hurts your palm right here. So moved up to Lindstrom. These are really, they're so much easier to work with. So if you're in this for a while and you decide to do it for a long time, these will save your hands. So, okay. So what I've got here is I've got 3/8 inch diameter, 16 gauge. So the gauge of the metal, of the wires, like any wire, the larger the number, the thinner the wire. Why? Just to confuse things. But anyway, so like a 12 gauge is really thick and hard to maneuver. 16 gauge is easier. So I'm using 16 gauge just so you can see it basically. I closed all the red rings and I'm going to open all the black rings. Okay. You want to see how it clicks? You want to hear it clicking because you know that means the wires are close to each other. So the goal is to not have a gap. You want it to be as much of a solid ring as possible. So that's the goal. Okay, so I'm going to close a bunch of these. All of the rings come like this. They're not quite open. They're not quite closed. So the black ones are all going to get open. So to open them, you twist the tip of one plier away from you and the one towards you, the other one towards you, so that you have a gap about like that. Okay? So I'm going to go do all that and I'll see you in a bit. Alrighty. So you've got your closed rings and you've got your open rings. And here's, if you believe in God, this is where you say a prayer and hang on to your sanity. So the best way to do this is you're going to take one open ring and put 4 closed rings on it. 3, 4. And then you're going to close it. Remember that the goal is to close it as close so that there's no gap and that there's no ridges. So there you go. You want to hear that sound. That means that metal's touching metal. And I'm not feeling any ridge. Okay, so now comes the fun part. So you're going to lay this down. And until you get 2 or 3 together, you want to try and keep it on the mat so it doesn't, again, drive you crazy. Okay, so there you go. See, the reds are facing this way, the black's facing that way. All right, so we're going to make another one of those. That's called a unit, I believe. So we're going to take another open one and put 4 more rings on that and close it. if you do a lot of chainmail, you get really good at opening and closing rings. Okay, there we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to place this like this, so that again, the reds are all facing this way and the blacks are facing this way. Got that? There we go. Now you can really see it. Now when I mess up, you can really see it. All right, so now we're going to put a black ring through these 4 rings. Okay, see how these kind of make eyes? They look like Venn diagrams. We want to put the black ring in there, hopefully without messing everything up. Okay, so the best way to do that is to take your black ring like that and put it through those 2. Then we're going to go under, la la la, without losing the Venn diagram, which is right here. Okay. We're going to put this through that. Do you see it? So that went through those, so that each ring has got 4 other rings attached to it. I'm going to try and close this. Oh, without lifting it up, which didn't work, which is why I don't like this system. But anyway, here you go. This is, you know, you get to learn the good and the bad. All right, so now the best way to get it back is to work on the center, make sure that the center rings are lined up the way they're supposed to. And then line up, there we go. Hey, that was a lot easier than I was expecting. Okay, so there we go. So I'm gonna try and do that with these guys. Okay, there we go. So the next mission is to take a open black and put it through those 4 rings. And the way you're gonna do it is, again, we're gonna go through this eye. La, 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 la. See, and you get me singing, isn't that nice? And then that eye. This eye right here. Okay, can you see that? And then, hopefully you don't move it. You close it. And one way to do it is to kind of quasi-close them. And then once you get it into a place where you can actually lift it up and it doesn't fall all to pieces, then you can close them better. Okay, I'm going to keep going because it's actually working pretty well. All right, this next batch, I'm going to put through this eye and this eye. So I'm aiming for this eye right here. And I want to go over and under. Ha ha ha. Okay. Can you hear that? That is the ice cream man who comes around and sounds like a goose. Okay, so that's the way to do it, that they did it in ye olden times. Oh, all right, I'll do one more. All right, you talked me into it. I'll do one more. So this and this one is going to go right here between here and this eye and that eye. And then we'll have 4 units put together. So I'm going to come up underneath and then go over the top and through that eye. And then quickly close it. Okay, there you go. So there's your chainmail. Congratulations. Oy, oy, oy. You could technically make an earring out of this. It might end up just looking like a jumble of rings, but obviously if you get more, the more you get, the more controlled it'll look. The less, the more it stays together in a sheet, and it's the more sturdy it is. So you can tell, like this one is easy to tell which way is up and which way is down. And so once you get past a certain point, it's easier to do it this way. It's easier to just keep at it. So, so there's chainmail part 1. So next week, we're going to work on my easier way of doing European foreign one. Okie dokie. All right. Woohoo. You've survived your first chainmail lesson. Congratulations. I will see you next week.